Listen, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I hate this brand so much. I'm talking about Mco Beauty again, right? A brand that's managed to make a name for itself, not through innovation or quality, but by blatantly ripping off other brands and kind of just riding on their coattails, really. If that wasn't bad enough, right? Just straight up copying other brands. The person behind it, let's just say, they aren't exactly the most likable person, and they themselves seem to be trying to dupe another brand owner, not the brand, the actual person, right? Let's get into it. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already. I have some other videos I've done in Mco Beauty. I will leave them down below for you. I just can't stand this brand. There's just something about it, right? If you've never heard of them before, Mco Beauty are basically like this dupe brand, okay? Which is fine. But there's duping and then there's straight up copying. For example, let's look at some new things, right? Or some new things to me from Mco. This is one of their Mco Butter Lip Balms. Literally the same packaging as the Glossier lip balms, right? The ones that they changed the formula for recently, everyone was outraged, so they changed it back. We're not just imitating here. We're not just being like, okay, it's similar to... This is the same color stories as the lip balms. It's the same packaging. Like, the issue here is you could mistakenly see that in a shop and think it's a Glossier one, right? If you weren't reading it, if you just went to pick it up quickly, you would think that's it. They also have the 2-in-1 gel. What? Oh, the Extend Brows Treatment Gel, which is the Kosas Brow Gel. It's the same packaging, the same, like, what's it called? Like, the plastic is slightly raised. It's just not pink like the Kosas one. Or is it purple? It's exactly the same thing. Why could you not just make your own brow gel? You know what I mean? And then we have the most blatant one of all. Hello, my angel. The most blatant one of all, which is their Hydrate and Glow something, and then their Hydrate and Glow other thing, the bronze one. These are blatant rip-offs off the, what's it called? Glow Recipe one, right? We've seen the one on the left. This is a new one on the right, which Glow Recipe also do. It's a bronzing version. They haven't copied the packaging exactly because the Glow Recipe is this one on the left, but bronze, but same concept. And we've discussed dupes before, right? Beauty dupes can be a great way for consumers to access similar products at a more affordable price. I'm all for it. The way Elf does it, the way, who else does it? Someone else. Providing it doesn't infringe on the original brand's like copyright, right? Providing they don't directly copy the brands while maintaining their own identity, fair. Go for it. Do it. It's like healthy competition, right? And innovation in the industry. You have this really expensive product. Let's make a more affordable version. We won't put it in the same packaging. However, direct copies, in my opinion, cross the line. It seems unethical. It seems illegal. You know, there's just something very wrong about it. It's almost like stealing like intellectual property. You know what I mean? So, like packaging, as we've just seen, the designs, the products' names. It's really horrible to the people that work so hard on these products in the first place. So saying that, they have also moved on to duping other brands' campaigns, much like when everyone was doing this, like, remember that? Oh, someone stole our product. Someone stole the fragrance from this product. It was all like breaking news. A thief stole something. Like loads of brands did it. They decided this time around to dupe a celebrity. Right, watch this, okay? This is a kind of how the story developed on their Instagram. So they posted this. Now, obviously, if you know who Sabrina Carpenter is, you're like, oh my god, that's Sabrina Carpenter because of the hair, mainly. So they took their fake Sabrina into New York and had her with like bodyguards. People were like, is that her? Is that really her? Handing out Mco Beauty products, which I'm sure she absolutely uses. This is kind of, you know, I don't mind this campaign because I feel like a lot of people do it. I have one issue with this and I'll get to it. So we see another post and it's people's comments are like, is that Sabrina? Are you duping Sabrina? Because obviously Mco are known as a dupe brand, right? And the creator does say, you know, I'm Sabrina. No, she doesn't. She says I'm Sophia. And then I guess they're taking their staff or some influencers to a Sabrina Carpenter concert.
The artist we're going to see tonight, how do I even begin to describe her?
Her name.
She once told me she's working late because she's a singer. She has to go on stage now.
So this is actually who is pretending to be Sabrina Carpenter. Obviously, she doesn't actually look like her here, the hair and all this kind of stuff. But this is a content creator called Sophia Devine. Devine. So if I said it wrong. But she's quite good at kind of like content in general. Looks great. This Christina Aguilera one looks very accurate. You did have some people throughout that commenting who really knew it wasn't her. Someone says Sabrina Plummer. That doesn't look like her. I feel bad for people who thought it was real. Yeah, me too. Like when they buy the Mco products. Someone says, did you really have to dupe Sabrina Carpenter as well? Someone put Sabrina from Temu. That's kind of harsh. Someone put Sabrina Carpenter? No. Sabrina Carpenter? Yes. You got dupes for everything. Doesn't look like her one bit. I do disagree. It does look like her a little bit. Someone said, this is weird marketing. What the fuck? And I do agree it's a little bit strange, but do you remember that campaign? I don't know if you've seen it recently by Alexander Wang. This Mco Beauty campaign comes not long after that one. Alexander Wang used celebrity lookalikes in one of their ads to open like this bag and show it off. It was a little bit strange, just a little bit uncanny, especially the Ariana Grande one, who just looks like her face is constantly in pain. But here's my issue with this. There's a few things I don't like about this brand in particular, right? If you didn't see my last video about the owner of this brand, she is very, what's the word? Kind of ignorant towards how duping brands in such a way, the way they do it is kind of harmful, and not ethically right. Ethically? And she's like, she basically doesn't care as long as she's making money, was the vibe we all got from it, from looking through the comments as well. So one thing I don't like about this campaign is that they are aware of to what extent they take duping. They know they are borderline in legal trouble. And that comes through in the interviews that Australian news thing did. Go and watch the video. You have to watch it to know what I'm talking about. This brand know, as I said, to what extent they are copying. I'm just going to call it copying. The packaging. They know they are on that legal cusp. And they kind of have no remorse or no apologetic attitude towards it. And this duping a celebrity is like, yeah, we will take it this far. This is how far we take it. And I just don't like that. Personally, I just don't like how they are copying people's work. A designer works on these products, on the packaging, you know, people who make the formulas and just straight up copying it. I really, really don't like that. And I don't like how, in my opinion, this campaign is kind of being like, yeah, we don't care. And in fact, we'll do this. We'll dupe Sabrina Carpenter. Now what? You know what I mean? I just don't like that. It gives tone deaf. It gives unapologetic. I just don't like it. Although I'm not the hugest fan of Charlotte Tilbury, one thing I can give him credit for is that Charlotte Tilbury, the brand owner herself, can kind of take the piss out of herself, right? She knows how people laugh at her for the like whole darling thing, the way she talks, all this kind of stuff. But she plays into that and it adds to the success of her brand. Charlotte Tilbury as a person, according to some people, is kind of likable through what you see on social media. Now, I mentioned at the beginning, I think that the brand owner herself is also of Mco is trying to emulate this as well as all the other Charlotte Tilbury products and kind of trying to make herself the brand mascot like Charlotte Tilbury does, right? Let me show you my evidence towards this. There was this trend going around, especially during Halloween, where there's a big store, for those of you who don't know, especially in the UK and Europe, there's a big kind of store that is around during Halloween in the US. It's called Spirit Halloween, right? Spirit Halloween or Spirit of Halloween? I can't remember. It's basically these huge warehouses. Are they open throughout the year? I swear they just used to pop up. You know, like those gift shops we sometimes get in the UK that open near Christmas. So if you can hear my dog snoring, he's snoring and it's cute. Anyway, and they have these like own brand Halloween costumes, and the packaging kind of looks like this, and it explains what's inside. It's like hot dog costume comes with hot dog costume and hot dog feet, that kind of situation. Brands were doing this with their, you know, brands will jump on any kind of meme and kind of ruin it a little bit, but brands were doing this with their products. So it would be like, fan from Amazon costume includes charger, button. No, that's a terrible example. Rare Beauty soft pinch blush costume includes highly pigmented blush, you know, that kind of thing. And then some ingredients and stuff like that. Famous people were doing it with themselves. Mco decided to do it with their owner, Shelley, who I think they're trying to make a celebrity at this point. She's well known before, not mainstream, kind of in the fashion industry. But here, for example, Mco Beauty, the costume is CEO Shelley, includes blonde wig, Boss Energy, extended lash mascara, glow, flawless glow, lip light shine gloss. That's a terrible name for a product. And it's like, we don't know her enough to know she has Boss Energy or her favorite products or blonde wig. You know what I mean? If that was Charlotte Tilbury, it was like, okay, we all know Charlotte Tilbury, the red hair, darling. You know what I mean? We don't know, this isn't funny because we don't know her. Some people do, but it's like, it's you're not at that stage yet. She's trying to be this. Does this make sense? Charlotte Tilbury-esque. Listen, if this was someone else, I think it would be kind of funny. But I don't like this person. I don't like this Shelley from this interview. It's great that it is a female-owned brand and, you know, empowering, but she isn't a nice person. If a man owned this brand, he wouldn't be a nice person. You know what I mean? It's just, I just dislike her heavily. Boss Energy, great. But do you have to be a dick at the same time? Point of view, patiently waiting for your birthday to begin. It's like she's putting on this act, like she's not believable as this, you know, person. Charlotte Tilbury, I'm sure, you know, although this darling seems fake, it's what she fucking does in real life. You know what I mean? So, and then she over exaggerated it because people were like memeing it and like getting and like saying how funny it was and how funny it was as her as a person. I just think they're trying. Not only are they trying to imitate Charlotte Tilbury as a brand in general, but now also they're trying to do that owner, like, I'm such a glamorous owner. Like, you're not that person. You're not likable. And as somebody who not grew up in the makeup industry, but was in the makeup industry before Charlotte Tilbury was a brand, before she was, you know, well-known on social media. She's a well-known makeup artist. I have friends who have very negative experiences with Charlotte Tilbury as a person. I still think she's kind of funny in her ads. You know what I mean? Whereas this Shelley is like, I've seen you in that interview and you're just horrendous. And you just seem fake. Like, your whole brand just seems fake and terrible. I just have a strong dislike for that brand in general. I just think they are so awful. It's okay to dupe products, but this is just, but I think they're just taking it a little bit too far. You're kind of like, your brand success comes from the success of other brands. And I think that's kind of cheeky and shit, to be honest with you. Yeah. All right. Let me know your opinions down below. Maybe I went a little bit too in, but I'm just gonna, this is how I would talk to my friends. So this is how I'm talking to you. I just don't like her. I don't like the brand. I don't like the owner. I don't like the vibes they give off. Yeah. All right. Let me know your opinions down below. Thank you again for joining me. Give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you fucking hated it. And I will see you very soon.